a country of more than 1 billion people. Famous for its ancient culture and civilization, the country has made tremendous progress in different fields after its independence. It has become self-sufficient in food production, industrial growth. It has established a network of telecommunications even in the remotest villages. And the remarkable developments in science and technology have become the strength of the nation. However, the country is facing some major problems like population explosion, illiteracy, the growth of slums, the lack of basic health care and sanitation. In India, there are 700 million people who go out for defecation. The poor living in the slum areas of towns and cities have no toilet facilities. In the villages, the women have to go out for defecation before sunrise or after sunset. Often, they have to control the call of nature for the whole day after sunrise, and therefore, most of them suffer from severe headaches. Open defecation is also a source of disease, and about 500,000 children die every year because of diarrhea and dehydration. There is also a social problem, scavenging, closely related to sanitation. Scavenging is the system in which human excreta is cleaned and carried away manually. For centuries, scavenging has been the subject of untouchability in Indian society. Scavengers who used to clean human excreta manually had to face all sorts of social discrimination. Mahatma Gandhi, in his lifetime, tried to bring the scavengers into the mainstream of society, but his task remained unfulfilled. It was in 1969, the Gandhi centenary year, that the nation stood up to take a vow to abolish scavenging. That also marked the beginning of the Sulabh Sanitation movement. This movement was started by Dr. Bindeshwar Pathak in the year 1970. Dr. Pathak, apart from being a sociologist, is a humanist and a social reformer who cares for the people of the downtrodden community from the core of his heart. His drive, determination, and missionary zeal for a happy society with improved living conditions has taken the shape of a nationwide movement. Dr. Pathak went to live in a colony of scavengers and had close interaction with members of the scavenging community in order to know intimately their living conditions, habits, customs, and earnings. He developed a technology of a 2-pit 4-flush toilet and popularized it with the name of Sulabh This technology does not require the services of scavengers and fulfills all the conditions of a safe and hygienic human waste disposal system. This idea gave the technological underpinning to the nascent Sulabh movement. In 1970, Dr. Pathak founded the Sulabh Shauchalaya Sansthan, later known as the Sulabh International Social Service Organization, to translate his ideas into practice. The small municipality of Ara town in Bihar offered him in 1973 all the assistance to install 2 toilets for demonstration. Today, more than 1 million such toilets have been installed in India. The Sulabh toilet has 2 pits. One is used at a time and the other one is kept as a standby. When the first one is full, the other pit is put into use. After 2 years or so, the excreta of the first pit turns into manure, which is pathogen-free and odorless and very good for raising farm productivity. This toilet can also be constructed in areas where the water table is high. It requires only 2 liters of water to flush human excreta from the pan to the pit. The gas produced in the pits is diffused in the soil at the bottom and the holes in the wall, and therefore the use of a gas pipe is not required for the exit of the gas. The little quantity of gas present in the water seal does not allow the water to freeze in cold weather. There is no chance of groundwater pollution from this technology. The Sulabh toilets should be installed 5 meters away from hand pumps and 10 meters from open wells. Space is no constraint for the Sulabh toilet. It can be constructed even in a small hut or in the smallest available space like a veranda, courtyard, or even near the door of the house. This toilet can be constructed within a bedroom or the upper floor of a house. Even the concrete slabs of the pits can be utilized for various purposes like cleaning food grain, cutting fish, cooking food, offering prayers, or even running a small shop. Sulabh technology is affordable, environmentally appropriate, indigenous, and culturally acceptable. The sewer system is not the answer to both the problems, scavenging and defecation in the open, because its cost of construction and maintenance is very high, and the requirement of water for flushing excreta from the dwelling to the treatment plant is enormous. No wonder this technology, installed for the first time in India in 1870 in Calcutta, has reached only 232 of the 5,000 or so towns and cities, and that too partially. The cost of a septic tank is also high, and therefore everybody cannot construct this toilet in his or her own house. Even if we utilize machines to clean the septic tank, one has to keep the sludge and effluent at another place or in a trenching ground for 2 years for further decomposition before it can be used as manure. No wonder only 14.6% of the urban population in India has adopted this technology. Sulabh has developed a remarkable sanitation system where people can use public toilets on a pay-and-use basis. Soap powder is provided to clean hands and water to have a bath. A mirror is also provided over a wash basin where you can comb your hair and wash your face. This system was introduced by Sulabh in Patna, Bihar in 1974. The system has now been replicated throughout the country in public places like railway stations, bus stands, market yards, in hospitals for the attendance of patients, court compounds and tourist places, and in slum areas. Sulabh has well-maintained toilet complexes in almost every state in India. The number of users of these toilets is around 10 million per day. This staggering number of users is matched only by the commuters of the Indian Railways. The complexes have also considerably improved the living conditions of those living in low-income settlements. The late Bharat Ratna, J.R.D. Tata, got a Sulabh toilet complex constructed and inaugurated in Mumbai. The biggest Sulabh toilet complex in the world has been constructed at Shirdi in Maharashtra for the Sai Baba Trust. It has 120 general and 28 toilets for VIPs, 108 bathrooms, and 5,000 lockers for keeping the belongings of pilgrim travelers. The electricity supplied in this complex is generated from the biogas produced from the excreta of the toilet users. Biogas can be produced from human excreta since it contains 66% methane, which is a combustible gas that can be used for various purposes like the lighting of gas lamps, warming oneself in winter, heating of water for bathing, for cooking, electricity generation, and street lighting. The famous Bailey Road and Gandhi Maidan of Patna were lit by the electricity produced from human excreta of the Sulabh public toilets. About 100 such biogas plants have been installed in different parts of the country. The sludge of the biogas plant is used as fertilizer, and the water discharged from it, containing phosphorus, nitrogen, potash, and other plant nutrients, can also be used as fertilizer. This can also help check water pollution in rivers like the Ganga and the Yamuna. Sulabh has also developed a system where water hyacinths can be utilized in biogas plants after drying them and converting them into powder. This doubles the production of biogas. Sulabh has developed a technology for wastewater treatment through duckweed. This does not require either energy or chemicals to treat wastewater. Duckweed has natural properties which can treat even toxic waste discharged from cities except for oil. One can rear fish in such water which have no harmful bacteria and can be safely consumed. Sulabh has invented the technology of thermophilic aerobic composting, by which vegetable and biodegradable wastes can be converted into manure within 10 days and don't require the churning of material during the composting process. Sulabh has established a unique museum of toilets. The museum has a rare collection of artifacts, pictures, and objects detailing the historical evolution of toilets since the dawn of civilization. It has many hilarious, rib-tickling facts and figures related to the subject. Determined to restore the human rights and the dignity of scavengers, Sulabh has led a relentless campaign to bring them into the national mainstream. More than 60,000 scavengers have been relieved from the subhuman practice of cleaning human excreta manually. Secondly, they have been provided alternative employment like the cleaning of roads and lanes and jobs of gardeners, and many towns and cities have been made scavenger-free so far. Further, for poverty alleviation through self-employment, youth, including the wards of scavengers, are being given training in various vocations like tailoring, fashion technology, shorthand, typing, beautician's courses, television and radio assembly and repair, driving, electrical and masonry work, so that they can be self-employed. The children of scavengers are given quality education along with computer and vocational training through English medium schools so that they can compete with the other children in society. For the upgradation of the social status of scavengers, Sulabh has started a unique program where the elite of society are persuaded to have social interaction with scavenger families. Sulabh's initiatives to educate and train women from urban slums and rural areas in sanitation and basic health care are radical in outlook and humane in approach. Sulabh has started a training school for teachers in the proper maintenance of toilets so that they in turn can take their students to public and individual toilets and give them hands-down training in health and hygiene. For motivation, health education and training, Sulabh has published literature in 18 recognized languages of the country so that every home has knowledge about the basic sanitation. Students, teachers, NGOs and retired people are involved on a mass scale to reach every nook and corner of the country. Dr. Pathak, who is a PhD and a D.Lit in sociology, has authored many